This is a great day for Roosevelt Middle School. This is a great tradition that we've had at this school for many, many years. And this is a great Veterans Day assembly. We are here today to honor our veterans who are here in person and all the veterans they represent in this great country of ours. Can we please have a round of applause? Thank you so much. Thank you so much to Superintendent O'Leary and members of his administrative team. For being here as well. A very big thank you to Ms. Rosa, Mr. Newell, our student volunteers, our staff volunteers who are putting on the assembly today. And this is just a quick reminder, a real reminder for our 7th and 8th graders, for our 6th graders. You've never been at a school-wide assembly yet at Roosevelt. So the reminder of good behavior is not because we expect you won't. We expect that you will. But we are not often all together like this. And so it's just a reminder that we have to respect our veterans who are here today. We have to respect the performers. We have to respect all of our classmates and the faculty who want to hear every word that's being said. So just a reminder that we're going to be quiet, we're going to be attentive, and we're going to be respectful, because that is what we do at Roosevelt Middle School. This is our school. Finally, students, you might not know, you are going to be dismissed from here. So at the end of the program, we will give you directions on how to be dismissed. So just know that we'll let you go at the end. But without further ado, honored veterans, staff, and students, let us begin with the posting of colors, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance and the singing of our national anthem. Please stand. We are now going to post the colors. Thank you. Please remain standing. We're going to recite the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Please remain standing. Please remain standing. Please remain standing as we welcome Ms. Charpentier to sing our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land and of the free and the home of the brave.
All right, please be seated. I would now like to introduce the RMS Student Council as they present the history of Veterans Day.
On November the 11th, 1918, our nation was again at peace. We observe Veterans Day on this anniversary, not of the beginning of a war, but the day when war ended. Our veterans have borne the cost of America's wars and have stood watch over America's peace.
On this day, every veteran can be served. The nation they served and the people they defended are grateful. Today and every day, the prayers of American people are those who have worn our country's uniform. We owe them for the way of life we cherish today. We must never take that for granted.
Veterans Day is dedicated to every man and woman who has taken up arms to defend our country. Today we remember those who have fallen and the 22 million veterans still living among us. Not every veteran has known the full fury of battle, but most consider their time in uniform among the most defining and life-changing experiences of their lives.
Military life is built around sacrifice and complete devotion to the United States of America. If you have lived this life, then you know the meaning of commitment to a greater cause. This is the bond that joins every veteran from every branch of the service. The military drew out the best that was in you, instilling the highest standards of vigilance, discipline, and loyalty.
Whether drafted or enlisted, commissioned or non-commissioned, each veteran took an oath to live by a code and stood ready to fight and, if necessary, die for their country. Our country's military has left a legacy like no other fighting force ever assembled. The uniform they wear and the flag they carry are held in esteem wherever they have served. Across the world, the sight of an American in a uniform has meant hope, relief, deliverance, and freedom to those who are suffering. That is their finest tribute.
We believe our great nation of free people sent their very best men and women out to serve on the frontiers of freedom. Our friends, neighbors, colleagues, and family went forth to defend their nation and its ideals, giving up the comforts and conveniences of home. They lived lives of great consequence, for they kept the torch of liberty burning in the oldest democracy on earth.
We honor every soldier, sailor, airman, marine, and Coast Guardsmen who give the best years of their lives to serve their country. Each and every one of them are heroes and gave every child born thereafter a precious and irreplaceable gift, and we the people remain eternally grateful.
It is the soldier, not the minister, who gives us the freedom of religion.
It is the soldier, not the reporter, who has given us the freedom of the press.
It is the soldier, not the poet, who has given us freedom of speech.
It is the soldier, not the campus organizer, who has given us freedom to protest.
It is the soldier, not the lawyer, who has given us the right to a fair trial.
It is the soldier, not the politician, who has given us the right to vote.
It is the soldier who salutes the flag.
Who serves the flag, and whose coffin is draped by the flag.
Who allows the protesters to burn the flag.
Thank you for stepping forward when others step back.
Thank you for placing yourself between us. Thank you for delaying plans for college, marriage, and other opportunities and choosing to serve.
Thank you for braving the unspeakable horrors of war.
Thank you for sacrificing time with your families and missing those significant milestones the rest of us take for granted.
Thank you to your spouses who find themselves living nomadic lives far away from the support of loved ones.
Thank you to your children who accept your absences as a way of life and understand they share you with the nation and sometimes the world.
Thank you to your parents who have nothing but prayers to protect you and must now trust you will be safe and that we will offer the best we have to you.
Thank you for continuing to support your country once you leave military service by following new careers and becoming the teachers, clergy, business owners, employees, pilots, civil servants, and so much more than we need to be a successful society.
Thank you for involving yourself in your local community, your state, your country, helping us solve problems to create a vision for our future, using the skills you learned during the tour of your duty.
Thank you for being a conscience to our nation.
Thank you for serving as a heroic example of who we are and what we can dream to be.
We can't shake every hand.
We can't visit every hospital.
Can't mourn at every grave.
But we can say thank you. Thank you for your service.
Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name. Do solemnly swear. To support and defend. The Constitution of the United States. Against all enemies. Foreign and domestic. And to bear true faith. And allegiance to the same. That I will obey. The orders of. The President of the United States. And the orders of. Those officers. Appointed over me. According to regulations. And the Uniform Code of Military Justice. So help me God.
We celebrate Veterans Day on the anniversary of the armistice that ended World War I. The armistice that began on the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month. The timing of this holiday is quite deliberate in terms of historical fact. But somehow it always seems quite fitting to me that this day comes deep in autumn when the colors are muted and the days seem to invite contemplation. It is, in a way, an odd thing to honor those who died in defense of our country, in defense of us, in wars far away. The imagination plays a trick. We see these soldiers in our mind as old and wise, but most of them were boys when they died, and they gave up two lives, the one they were living and the one they would have lived. When they died, they gave up their chance to be husbands and fathers and grandfathers. They gave up their chance to be revered old men. They gave up everything for our country, for us. And all we can do is remember. I will not fail thee, nor forsake thee. In memory of those who gave the last full measure of devotion, may our efforts to achieve lasting peace gain strength. Let us make a vow to our dead. Let us show them by our actions that we understand what they died for. Strengthened by their courage, heartened by their value, and borne by their memory, let us continue to stand for the ideals for which they lived and died.
In the long history of the world, only a few generations have been granted the role of defending freedom in its hour of maximum danger. I do not shrink from this responsibility. I welcome it. I do not believe that any of us would exchange places with any other people or any other generation. The energy, the faith, the devotion which we bring to this endeavor will light our country and all who serve it. We shall pay any price, bear any burden, meet any hardship, support any friend, oppose any foe to assure the survival and the success of liberty.
It is now my honor to introduce our first guest speaker, Roosevelt Middle School alumni, Alan Fonseca.
Thank you, Mr. Noel. Thank you, Mrs. Noel, my favorite teacher ever. Thank you to the veterans who have paved the way for someone like me to have the opportunity that I was given. I'm here with you today because of the opportunities I was given by the United States Air Force. I sat here because I am a former Roosevelt student, and I thought at the time I was coming here that I could be someone someday. I was given that dream by people who believed in me, and I took advantage of it. When I became of age after graduating high school at 17, I had no plan but a vision. My vision was to be somebody, even after told I couldn't be. At 19, I enlisted in the United States Air Force, active duty, and was sent to a few places. Some of them good, some of them bad, but I made the best of it. Why did I do that? I did that because I was told I couldn't. I enjoyed myself, traveling, being given the experiences to work in front of all the cool airplanes. No, I didn't fly them. I just guarded them for a very long time in cold weather, hot weather, didn't matter. Different countries, different places, but I enjoyed it. I knew that by doing this, it would open doors for me. After my enlistment, 6 years in the Air Force, I became a police officer here in the great city of New Bedford, my community. Those doors were only open to me because I took advantage of the opportunities that I had. I've been on the police department for 27 years now, and hopefully retiring very soon. Done all the fun things you can think of. SWAT team, honor guard, all that good stuff. What did the military teach me? Taught me respect, number one. I got a little chills from the soldiers that were swearing in because I was there one time. Taught me respect, that was the biggest thing. Taught me integrity. Service before self. Can't always put yourself first. And excellence in all that we do. That's what teaches me to teach people like you to do the same thing. When somebody tells you you can't, let that motivate you. Those people I have in my mind who inspired me to be who I am today. I don't know if you can see it, but that mural right there is me, and I'm proud to say it. This guy right here in uniform, in 2019, they came to me and they said, we want to start a project, and that's the projects that I grew up in, Penrose Gardens or South First Street. That's a wall that I pass every day when I come here, and I look to my right. That's my accomplishment, or one of them, one of many, that was given to me by the United States Air Force. And I chose that branch only because my older brother and uncle did it. But there's my family. You can be part of that family one day if you take the opportunities that are presented to you. And no, I wasn't always a good kid. I was a short kid who did get into some trouble, but not a lot of trouble. I listened to the guidance of my angel. My angel is my mom. When I didn't understand why she didn't want me to do things, I didn't do them. Now I understand. When Mrs. Noel gave me all the advice I needed, I took it and I ran with it. Yeah, I'm going to give you a lot of credit, Miss Noel, because I have to. You deserve it. And I'm sure Mr. Noel is the same way, because the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. I was just fortunate. You can be too. Take that opportunity and run with it. Thank those people who inspire me for telling me that I couldn't, because I did. I am now an E8. For those that don't know, E stands for enlisted, 8 stands for the number or the rank that you are. I'm one step away from being 1% of the entire Air Force in rank, of being the highest. If I get there, great. If I don't, I still did it. I made it. A little snotty-nosed kid from the project who nobody said could do it. I did it. Believe. That's what you need to do. Believe. Use that energy instead of saying I can't, say I can. Get there. You can because I did. I was once you. I'm going to end by saying the way you can thank me, and I'm not even sure if they do this in schools anymore, but when they play the national anthem, just stand up and be quiet. It's only 90 seconds of your day. Think about that. You're thanking me, you're thanking them, you're thanking those who gave the ultimate sacrifice. Fortunately, I didn't have to. 90 seconds, that's how you thank us. Think about that. Thank you.
At this time, please welcome Roosevelt School Resource Officer, Officer DeMello, to introduce the next segment, which commemorates the 80th anniversary of D-Day.
I would like to thank Officer Fonseca personally for both his service within the armed services and also for his service to the city of New Bedford. For those of you who don't know, Officer Fonseca was also a school resource officer. Officer Fonseca has run youth basketball. Officer Fonseca has given back a tremendous amount to the city that he grew up in. We should all aspire to be like him. Okay, this year marks the 80th anniversary of what has come to be known as D-Day. On June 6, 1944, Allied forces from 15 countries, including Canada, Great Britain, and America, united to take part in the greatest amphibious invasion on the beaches of Normandy, France. Its code name was Operation Overlord. Germany, one of the three main enemy Axis powers, had occupied France for over 4 years. Supreme Allied Commander and future United States President Dwight D. Eisenhower knew that storming the beaches of Normandy were the key to liberation and the beginning to the end of the Nazi tyranny. Due to unfavorable weather conditions, the timing of the invasion was delayed by 24 hours. Fearing the enemy would soon get word of the top-secret invasion plans, Eisenhower knew that June 6, weather permitting or not, would have to be the day, D-Day, to begin the invasion. Paratroopers were dropped from the skies in order to capture key sites behind the beaches and secure the flanks of the assault areas. Unfortunately, many of them were mistakenly dropped miles from their intended targets. The shores of Normandy were comprised of 5 main beaches: Utah, Gold, Juno, Sword, and Omaha, the scene of the most intense bloodshed and sacrifice. The average age of soldiers who landed on the beaches of Normandy on D-Day was around 20 years old. The draft for World War II called upon men ages 21 to 35, but men as young as 18 could enlist. The youngest soldier buried in Normandy was a paratrooper in the 104th Airborne Division, who was 17 when he died a few days after D-Day. He enlisted at the age of 16 by lying about his age so that he could too proudly serve his country. On the eve of the invasion, General Eisenhower addressed the Allies with some of the most stirring and inspiring words ever spoken. He wanted to ensure our soldiers that the fate of the free world would be decided by their victory or defeat. When they would be most assuredly faced with the unspeakable horrors of war, he wanted them to know exactly what they were fighting for. Soldiers, sailors, and airmen of the Allied Expeditionary Force, you are about to embark upon the great crusade towards which we have striven these many months. The eyes of the world are upon you. The hope and prayers of liberty-loving people everywhere march with you. In company with our brave allies and brothers in arms on other fronts, you will bring about the destruction of the German war machine, the elimination of Nazi tyranny over the oppressed peoples of Europe, and security for ourselves in a free world. Your task will not be an easy one. Your enemy is well-trained, well-equipped, and battle-hardened. He will fight savagely. But this is the year 1944. Much has happened since the Nazi triumphs of 1940 and 41. United Nations have inflicted upon the Germans great defeats in open battle, man-to-man. Our air offensive has seriously reduced their strength in the air and their capacity to wage war on the ground. Our home fronts have given us an overwhelming superiority in weapons and munitions of war and placed at our disposal great reserves of trained fighting men. The tide has turned. The free men of the world are marching together to victory. I have full confidence in your courage, devotion to duty, and skill in battle. We will accept nothing less than full victory. Good luck, and let us beseech the blessing of Almighty God upon this great and noble undertaking. In the end, the Allies would be victorious, but the price of freedom is never free. Out of 160,000 troops who stormed the beaches, 10,300 would never return home, never see their families again, or in some cases, meet the sons and daughters their wives were expecting before deployment. In less than a year, the Nazi reign of tyranny and oppression would be unequivocally defeated, and shortly thereafter, Japan would also surrender. Their eternal courage and honor and sacrifice is still felt throughout the world 80 years later by lovers of liberty. Generations today and to come will forever refer to them and every soldier of the Second World War as the greatest.
Next, the following presentation honors Roosevelt's staff. and their family and friends who are veterans of the armed forces, as well as former students that chose to serve their country. All these brave men and women are part of the extended RMS family.
If tomorrow all the things were gone, worked for all my life, and I had to start again with just my children and my wife. I thank my lucky stars to be living here today, 'cause the flag still stands for freedom, and they can't take that away. And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I'm happy to stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. From the lakes of Minnesota to the hills of Tennessee, across the plains of Texas, from sea to shining sea, from Detroit down to Houston and New York to LA, where there's pride in every American heart, and it's time we stand and say that I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I'm happy to stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA.
It is now time for our annual playing of the Armed Forces Medley. We invite the veterans in attendance today to stand, if able, when their anthem is played.
United States Coast Guard.
The playing of taps is an integral part of every military funeral and memorial ceremony. It is customary for civilians to place their hand over their heart while taps is being played. We ask that everyone please rise for the playing of taps. Thank you. Please be seated. At this time, Mr. Noel will come to the podium with some comments and thoughts to share. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Roosevelt. Just a real quick word of thanks to people who deserve it. Thank you to Dr. Conard and all of our administrators, our custodial staff, Miss Roser, of course, Officer DeMello, my mom, who taught me well with Dad, thank you very much. Our city councilors, Superintendent O'Leary, school committee members, counselors, New Bedford Cable Access, Arthur Mata, Anne Marie Lopes, Miss Charpentier for a fabulous national anthem. Our student council, guys, you did it. Fabulous job. Well done. Robert Bromley, Sergeant Christopher Gomes, and Senior Master Sergeant Alan Fonseca, and all of our veterans who attend year in and year out. We would never and could never do this without you. We are truly the land of the free because of the brave sitting right over there right now. Thank you very much, Roosevelt.
After last year's Veterans Day Assembly, one of the veterans who was in attendance shared with Ms. Rosa and Mr. Noel that in the 50 years since the Vietnam War, he had never felt more respected. He had never felt respected like he'd been respected by his time here with Roosevelt Middle School and our Roosevelt students. The act of kindness, the respect that we pay to other people, especially our veterans, we never know the impact it might have. That veteran told us he had never been more respected than he was here with us in our school with our students. So thank you very much for everything that you did today for our veterans. Thank you, Sergeant Fonseca, for your words of inspiration. Thank you, veterans, for all of your actions on our behalf. Thank you very much, everyone. Have a great Veterans Day on Monday.